Welcome back, coin lovers and history hunters. United States. Today's video is a must-watch because we're revealing the top 4 most valuable Liberty Wartime Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coins and classic Jefferson nickel coins of the United States of America. These rare U.S. nickels, especially the Wartime Jefferson Nickel made from silver, have shocked collectors with their hidden value, rare mint marks, and unbelievable auction prices. If you have old Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coins lying in your pocket, drawer, or coin collection, do not skip this video. One small detail could turn an ordinary nickel into a high-value American coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. From wartime silver nickels to rare mint-marked Jefferson nickels, we're breaking down how to identify them, why they're rare, and what makes collectors pay big money. So stay tuned till the end, hit the like button, subscribe for rare coin videos, and let's uncover the top 4 Liberty Wartime Jefferson Nickel and Jefferson 5-cent coins that every collector in the USA and around the world is searching for right now. Fire. The 1943 Liberty Wartime Jefferson Nickel carries an almost mythical reputation in the coin world. A reputation built on war, sacrifice, and unexpected treasure hiding in plain sight. This coin was born at a moment when the United States was fighting for survival, when metal itself became a weapon, and even small change reflected the tension of a nation at war. Because of that dramatic birth, collectors today don't just see a 5-cent coin when they look at it. They see history frozen in silver-colored metal, a quiet survivor of one of humanity's loudest eras. What makes the 1943 Wartime Jefferson Nickel feel so powerful is its unusual composition. Unlike ordinary nickels, this coin stepped away from its traditional metal formula because nickel was desperately needed for military equipment. The result was a special wartime alloy that instantly separated these coins from normal pocket change. That single decision turned a humble 5-cent piece into a historical artifact, and over time, into a symbol of scarcity and desire that collectors chase with almost obsessive passion. The San Francisco Mint mark, the small but mighty S above Monticello, adds another layer of magic to this coin. San Francisco Mint coins from wartime years often had lower production numbers and tougher survival rates, especially in high condition. Many were spent, damaged, or melted away by time. Finding one today that still holds sharp details, strong luster, and clean surfaces feels like discovering a survivor that escaped both war and decades of circulation. Collectors don't just pay for metal. They pay for stories, and the 1943 Wartime Jefferson Nickel tells a powerful one. This coin passed through hands during rationing, blackouts, and uncertainty. It may have been carried by factory workers, soldiers' families, or merchants supporting the war economy. Every worn edge whispers about a past life, and every well-preserved example feels almost supernatural, as if it's protected for a greater destiny. What pushes this coin into the realm of unbelievable value is condition. In average shape, it's history. In exceptional shape, it becomes legend. Coins with blazing surfaces, razor-sharp steps on Monticello, and untouched details enter a completely different universe of worth. These are the coins that ignite bidding wars, that make seasoned collectors' hearts race, and that can reach prices so high they sound unreal to newcomers. There is also the silent power of rarity within rarity. Among the 1943 wartime nickels, a tiny fraction stand out as extraordinary, perfectly struck, perfectly preserved, and almost impossible to replace. These are the coins people whisper about at auctions, the ones that vanish into private collections and don't resurface for years. When one finally appears, the price doesn't just rise, it explodes. For many people, the dream is simple but electric. Imagine opening an old box, a forgotten drawer, or an inherited collection, and seeing that large mint mark shining back at you. The thought that a small coin could quietly sit for decades and then suddenly transform someone's life overnight is what fuels the obsession. This is why collectors warn again and again, never rush, never sell blindly, never underestimate what you might be holding. The emotional value of the 1943 Wartime Jefferson Nickel often rivals its financial value. It represents resilience, adaptation, and survival under pressure. During a time when the world was breaking apart, this coin was still minted, still used, still trusted. Owning one feels like owning a fragment of national endurance, a reminder that even the smallest objects can carry enormous meaning. Stories circulate in the collector world about coins dismissed as ordinary, sold cheaply, only to later be revealed as extraordinary treasures. These stories are not just rumors. They are lessons. A coin's true worth is not always obvious at first glance. Knowledge, patience, and respect for history separate those who lose fortunes from those who gain them. The idea that this coin could be worth millions captures attention, but what truly gives it power is possibility. Possibility is dangerous and beautiful at the same time. It's the idea that a single correct detail, a single rare characteristic, can elevate a simple nickel into a life-changing object. That possibility is why collectors study, examine, and protect these coins with almost religious devotion. In the world of rare coins, timing is everything. Markets change, demand shifts, and legends grow. A coin that once seemed modest can suddenly become the center of attention when collectors realize just how few truly exceptional examples exist. When that realization spreads, values don't climb slowly. They leap, sometimes shockingly fast. The 1943 Wartime Jefferson Nickel stands at the crossroads of history, scarcity, and desire. It is not just about money. It is about being part of a story bigger than yourself. Holding such a coin connects you to wartime America, to economic sacrifice, and to the long journey of an object that refused to disappear. This is why experienced voices always say, never rush to sell a wartime nickel that looks special. What seems small today could be monumental tomorrow. Once a coin leaves your hands, its future value leaves with it, and regret can last far longer than patience. In the end, the true power of the 1943 Liberty Wartime Jefferson Nickel is not just its metal or mint mark, but the way it captures imagination. It turns ordinary people into treasure hunters and history lovers into careful guardians. If you ever find one, don't treat it like spare change. Treat it like a sleeping giant, because sometimes fortune doesn't arrive loudly. It waits quietly in your palm. The 1967 Liberty Jefferson 5-cent coin from the Philadelphia Mint looks ordinary at first glance, but seasoned collectors know that ordinary coins are often the ones hiding the most surprising stories. This coin was born in a strange era of American history, a time when the U.S. Mint was experimenting, rushing production, and quietly creating pieces that would later confuse, excite, and even shock the coin collecting world. What makes this coin fascinating is not loud shine or instant luxury, but the silent potential locked inside metal that millions once ignored. In 1967, the United States Mint did something unusual. No mint marks were used at all. Even though the coin was struck in Philadelphia, there is no P visible, which has caused endless debate and misunderstanding among collectors. Many people still believe their coin is special because of a missing mark, while others accidentally spend coins that deserve a second look. This confusion alone has helped rare examples slip through hands for decades without anyone realizing what they held. Now let's talk about the metal, because this is where myths and reality collide. The 1967 Jefferson Nickel is not a silver coin, yet its appearance and weight often mislead people into believing otherwise. What truly gives this coin value is not silver content, but condition, strike quality, and rare minting abnormalities. In the coin world, perfection can be worth more than precious metal, and a flawless nickel can outshine many silver coins in auction rooms. The most valuable 1967 Jefferson Nickels are those that survived time untouched, no scratches, no wear, no dullness. These coins were often saved accidentally in rolls, forgotten in old drawers, or sealed away by collectors who understood that time itself could be the greatest value multiplier. A coin graded at the highest levels becomes more than currency. It becomes a certified artifact, hunted by elite collectors who compete fiercely for the best example available. Then come the error coins, the true jackpot stories that fuel legends. Some 1967 Jefferson Nickels were struck with double details, misaligned dies, weak strikes, or unusual planchet flaws. These are not mistakes you can see at a glance. They reveal themselves only under careful inspection. When authenticated, such errors transform a common 5-cent coin into a conversation-stopping treasure that can sell for prices most people would never expect from a nickel. What really drives prices into shocking territory is scarcity, combined with demand. Millions were made, yes, But how many exist today in absolute top condition or with dramatic mint errors? Very few. Collectors don't compete for average coins. They battle over the best of the best. When two serious buyers want the same rare example, logic disappears and prices rise fast, sometimes violently. The Jefferson portrait itself adds another layer of emotional value. Thomas Jefferson represents intellect, independence, and American identity. Coins carrying his image connect history with metal. And collectors pay premiums for pieces that capture that legacy sharply and cleanly. A perfectly struck 1967 Jefferson nickel shows details that many later coins simply lost due to mass production shortcuts. There's also a psychological factor most people underestimate. A coin from 1967 feels recent enough to ignore, yet old enough to feel historic. That balance makes people careless with it, which is exactly how rare survivors are created. The market rewards what people fail to protect, and punishes what everyone tried to save. Stories of unbelievable coin values don't usually start with famous dates. They start with overlooked years like 1967. When collectors realize a specific variety or condition is far rarer than believed, prices don't climb slowly, they jump. That's how everyday coins suddenly rewrite their own reputation, leaving latecomers stunned. Another reason collectors chase top-grade 1967 nickels is registry competition. High-end collectors want the finest known example, not just any coin. If your coin ranks at the top of a grading population, it becomes a crown jewel. At that level, price tags stop making sense of ordinary people because the buyer isn't purchasing metal. They're purchasing dominance. This is why selling such a coin cheaply, without verification, can be a lifetime mistake. Until a coin is professionally examined, weighed, magnified, and graded, its true identity remains unknown. History is full of people who spent coins that could have rewritten their financial story, simply because they assumed it's just a nickel. The 1967 Jefferson nickel teaches a powerful lesson. Value is not always loud. Sometimes it whispers, waiting for the right eyes and the right knowledge. Coins like this don't change fortunes overnight by magic, but they do it through patience, awareness, and timing. If you believe you own a 1967 Jefferson nickel that looks unusually sharp, strange, or flawless, stopping is the smartest move you can make. The difference between 5 cents and life-changing money is often one decision made too quickly. In today's collector market, information is currency. Those who understand what they hold gain leverage. Those who don't lose silently. The true power of the 1967 Jefferson nickel is not hype, it's potential. And potential is what serious collectors pay for. So before you dismiss that small Liberty Jefferson 5-cent coin, remember this. History doesn't always announce itself with gold or silver. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, waiting for someone who knows when not to spend. The year 1964 staring back at you and wondering if this tiny piece of metal could secretly be worth more than houses, businesses, or even a lifetime of savings. The Jefferson nickel has fueled countless rumors, whispered stories, and viral claims across the collector world, turning pocket change into objects of obsession. The year 1964 is especially powerful in American coin history. It was a time of massive mint production, economic pressure, and public fear of coin shortages. Millions of people pulled coins out of circulation, believing precious metal values would explode overnight, and that atmosphere alone gives the 1964 Jefferson nickel a legendary aura. Here's where the mystery deepens. While many people believe the 1964 Jefferson nickel is a silver coin, the truth is more nuanced and far more interesting. Officially, this coin was struck in a copper-nickel alloy, not silver. Yet certain rare circumstances and extraordinary minting events are what keep collectors watching this date so closely. In 1964, the Philadelphia Mint worked an almost frantic pace. Dies were overused, quality control slipped, and small mistakes quietly escaped into circulation. These tiny imperfections, invisible to the untrained eye, are where ordinary coins transform into rare collectibles worth serious money. Some 1964 P. Jefferson Nickels exist with dramatic die errors, including double design details, off-center strikes, and unusually sharp or distorted features. When these errors are extreme and preserved in flawless condition, their value can jump from cents to thousands, sometimes even more at the right auction. What truly drives prices into unbelievable territory is condition. A perfectly preserved 1964 Jefferson nickel with full steps on Monticello, untouched surfaces, and original mint luster becomes a completely different creature. These coins are not common, despite the massive mintage numbers. Collectors don't just pay for metal, they pay for story, rarity, and survival. A coin that somehow avoided circulation, scratches, cleaning, and damage for decades becomes a time capsule. That survival alone can elevate a simple nickel into a treasure. There are also long-standing rumors of experimental planchets and transitional strikes from the early 1960s. While incredibly rare and controversial, the mere possibility keeps serious collectors searching, magnifiers in hand, hoping to uncover something the mint never officially acknowledged. This is why experts always warn, never rush to sell a coin just because it looks ordinary. The smallest details, steps on Monticello, sharpness of Jefferson's hair, alignment letters, can completely rewrite a coin's value story in seconds. The idea of becoming rich overnight isn't born from fantasy alone. It's born from real cases where overlooked coins sat in drawers for decades before being recognized for what they truly were. Knowledge is a key that turns pocket change into power. Many people make the biggest mistake by cleaning their coins, unknowingly destroying thousands of dollars in potential value. Original surfaces, even if slightly dull, are far more valuable than a shiny but damaged finish. Professional grading is where reality hits hard. Once authenticated, graded, and encapsulated, a rare 1964 Jefferson nickel gains credibility, market trust, and serious collector attention. That plastic holder can mean the difference between curiosity and cash. So while the 1964 P. Jefferson nickel is not a standard silver coin, it still holds a special place in American numismatics. Its story is tied to fear, scarcity, mint chaos, and the endless hunt for the exceptional among the ordinary. The real power of this coin isn't magic. It's awareness. The person who understands what to look for holds the advantage, while others spend rare coins without ever knowing what slipped through their fingers. Before you dismiss a 1964 Jefferson nickel as just 5 cents, remember this. History hides its secrets in plain sight. One sharp eye, one rare strike, one untouched survivor can change the destiny of a simple coin, and sometimes the destiny of the person who finds it. The 1963 P. Jefferson Nickel is one of those quiet American coins that looks ordinary at first glance, yet carries a story that has fascinated collectors for decades. When people hear whispers about a single 5-cent coin changing a life overnight, this date often gets dragged into the conversation. The truth is not found in fantasy alone, but in the fine details that most people never bother to study. This coin was born in a powerful era of American history, a time when the United States was still reshaping its identity after war and economic shifts. The Jefferson Nickel of 1963 was struck in Philadelphia, proudly bearing no mint mark, and it represents the final years before major design and minting philosophy changes took hold. Millions were produced, yet not all coins are created equal. One of the biggest myths surrounding the 1963 Jefferson Nickel is the idea that it is a silver coin. It is not. Unlike the famous wartime nickels of 1942 to 1945, this coin was struck in a copper-nickel alloy. And yet, myths have power. Many fortunes in coin collecting have not been made from metal value, but from mistakes, anomalies, and conditions so rare they feel unreal. What truly separates an ordinary 1963 nickel from a legendary one is condition. A coin that somehow survived untouched, with blazing luster, razor-sharp steps on Monticello, and zero wear, becomes something entirely different. In the world of elite collectors, perfection is obsession, and perfection is where prices begin to defy common sense. There are rumors and documented cases of 1963 P. Jefferson Nickels showing extraordinary mint errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and misaligned dies are not just mistakes. They are a fingerprint of chaos inside the mint. When such an error is dramatic and preserved in high grade, collectors don't see 5 cents. They see history frozen mid-mistake. Among specialists, the phrase full steps carries enormous weight. When the steps of Monticello appear fully struck and uninterrupted, the coin enters an elite class. A 1963 P nickel with full steps and pristine surfaces can multiply its value thousands of times over compared to a pocket-worn example. This is where dreams are born, not from fantasy, but from microscopic details. Stories circulate in the coin world about nickels pulled from old rolls, forgotten drawers, or estate collections that shocked experts when examined under magnification. These stories fuel the belief that life-changing coins are still out there, hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone patient enough to look closely instead of spending blindly. The real danger lies in ignorance. Many rare coins have been lost forever because someone assumed all nickels are the same. The difference between 5 cents and a life-changing discovery often comes down to knowledge, patience, and professional evaluation. This is why serious collectors never sell raw coins based on rumors alone. Professional grading can transform a coin's destiny. Once sealed and authenticated, the market speaks differently. A top-grade 1963 P. Jefferson nickel with exceptional strike quality or a rare error becomes a trophy, not a trinket. At that point, value is driven by demand, not denomination. Does this coin realistically sell for millions? No, and anyone claiming that without proof is selling fantasy. But can certain examples sell for astonishing prices compared to their face value? Absolutely. And that gap between 5 cents and thousands of dollars is exactly where fascination turns into obsession. The Jefferson nickel teaches a powerful lesson. Rarity is not always about age, and value is not always about metal. Sometimes it's about survival against odds, about a moment in time that went slightly wrong at the mint and was never repeated again. Collectors who understand this don't rush. They research, they inspect, they respect the coin. Because once a truly special piece leaves your hands, it rarely comes back, and regret lasts longer than excitement. So if you hold a 1963 P. Jefferson nickel, don't panic and don't fantasize. Look closer, study it, protect it, because while most will remain ordinary, a tiny fraction carries stories and value far greater than 5 cents. In the world of coin collecting, fortunes are not made overnight by magic. They are made by knowledge meeting opportunity. And sometimes that opportunity is hiding inside a coin most people never look at twice.